Security experts are extremely concerned about the most recent vulnerability revealed by LastPass. As is common, we are in a security limbo. On the one hand, users who adhere to LastPass's best practices would be exposed to almost no to very little danger. To suggest that password best practices are not being followed, however, would be a gross understatement. The truth is that there are incredibly few companies where these procedures are really followed. This puts security teams in a bad situation since it makes it nearly hard to identify the people who cause the vulnerability, even though exposure to compromise is practically a given. In order to help them through this difficult time, browser security solution LastPass has released a free version of its platform. This allows security teams to see all browsers on which the LastPass extension is installed and mitigate the potential effects of the LastPass breach on their environments by warning vulnerable users and requiring them to implement MFA on their accounts and, if necessary, rolling out a dedicated master password reset procedure to eliminate the threat. Fill out the form in the description to obtain access to the free utility. Recapitulating LastPass's statement. What information do attackers have and what risks are involved? The threat actor was also able to copy a backup of customer vault data from the encrypted storage container, which is kept in a proprietary binary format and contains both unencrypted data, like website URLs, and fully encrypted sensitive fields, like website usernames and passwords, secure notes, and form-filled data. The resulting danger is that the threat actor may try to guess your master password using brute force and decode the copies of vault data they obtained. It would be very challenging to try to brute force guess master passwords for those customers that follow our password best practices because of the hashing and encryption techniques we utilize to secure our clients. The master password is exposed to the vault if LastPass password best practices are not followed. The most concerning part of the article is the final section on recommended practices. Best guidelines for passwords? How many individuals follow secure password guidelines? Not many, is the unpleasant but honest response. Even in the case of corporate managed apps, that is true. It is reasonable to presume that password reuse is more often than not when it comes to personal apps. Both use cases are subject to the danger that LastPass's leak brings. Let's investigate why. Actual risk. Unauthorized use of corporate resources. Organizations can be divided into two categories. Type A, businesses that utilize LastPass as part of their corporate strategy to store passwords for all users or just certain departments to access corporate managed applications. In that instance, the issue is clear-cut. A threat who is able to guess or discover an employee's LastPass master password will have easy access to the company's important resources. Type B, businesses where LastPass is autonomously utilized by staff members for their preferred applications, personal or professional, without the assistance of IT. The worry in that situation is that an adversary who is successful in cracking or obtaining an employee's LastPass master password would use users' propensity for password repetition and, after compromising the passwords in the vault, identify one that is also used to access corporate apps. Certain threat but extremely limited mitigation capabilities. The CISO's dead end. Whether an organization belongs to Type A or Type B, the risk is obvious. The CISO's challenge is made more difficult by the fact that, despite the high probability, if not outright certainty, that some employees in their environment have user accounts that are vulnerable to compromise, the CISO has very little ability to identify these employees or to take the necessary actions to reduce the risk they pose. 100% visibility into the LastPass attack surface and proactive protection measures are included in the LastPass free offering. In order to help security teams assess how sensitive their company is to the LastPass hack, map out all the affected users and apps, and implement security mitigations, LastPass has launched a free tool. The technology from LastPass is deployed as an enterprise extension to the browser that your workers are using, giving it quick visibility into every user's browser extensions and browsing habits. CISOs can benefit from this in the following ways: end-to-end insight into every browser with the LastPass extension installed, regardless of whether it adheres to corporate policy, Type A, or is being used by an individual, Type B. All websites and applications whose login information is stored in LastPass are mapped by the program. It should be highlighted that the visibility problems faced by Type B firms are significantly more serious than those faced by Type A organizations, and only LastPass's product can solve them. Identifying individuals at risk, security teams can alert susceptible users and demand that they enable MFA on their accounts using this knowledge. In order to prevent enemies from using a compromised master password for nefarious access, they can additionally implement a specific master password reset process.